everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Entertainment with Buford and Francis. Today, I'll be cosplaying as Buford Van Stom from Phineas and Ferb. He's going to tell the viewers the story of Barbie and the Nutcracker. Enjoy the video. Clara and Tommy Drosselmeyer have been living with their stern grandfather ever since their parents died. Grandfather Drosselmeyer and Aunt Elizabeth have different ideas about how to raise children. At Christmas, Clara receives a Nutcracker doll from Aunt Elizabeth. Clara's little brother Tommy accidentally breaks the Nutcracker's arm. Clara fixes the Nutcracker and falls asleep in her parlor with it. But at midnight, a portal to the land of Parthenia opens up at the parlor and is invaded by a Mouse King and his army searching for the Nutcracker. Nutcracker comes to life and fights, but when Clara tries to help, she gets shrunk by the Mouse King's magic scepter. When the army retreats, thanks to Clara hurting her shoe at the Mouse King, knocking him out, Nutcracker tells her he only looks like a nutcracker because of the Mouse King. Both victims of the evil king's magic have to find the Sugar Plum Princess, the most powerful fairy in Parthenia. The owl from the top of the clock tells the two that the Sugar Plum Princess lives across the Sea of Storm, which is dangerous to sail. At first, Clara doesn't want to go, but doesn't want to stay small forever either. So Clara receives a locket that'll let her return home anytime to her normal size. And she and the Nutcracker go through a mouse hole. It leads to caves made of ice and leaves. They're thanks to snow fairies breaking the ice. They enter Parthenia, where the Mouse King is ruling. Clara is amazed at the land. And the king's spy, a bat named Pim, sees Clara and the Nutcracker. He goes to inform his master and also tells the Mouse King they are searching for the Sugar Plum Princess. The king admits that he never heard of this princess before and decides to research her, and he sends the soldiers to capture the Nutcracker. Clara and the Nutcracker have come to a destroyed gingerbread village and meet two children and a horse. The children, Peppermint Girl and Gingerbread Boy, and their horse, Marzipan, travel with Clara and Nutcracker because they are alone and can't stay. Clara learns that Prince Eric is the rightful ruler of Parthenia. Before his father died, the king left his advisor, the mouse, in charge until Eric was ready to rule. Unfortunately, though, the mouse enjoyed the power of being king too well, and as a result, Eric mysteriously disappeared. The group goes into a forest, but soldiers chase them, so they hide in the treetops. They meet Major Mint and Captain Candy and some villagers who interrogate them. Nutcracker is thought to be a wooden spy, and Clara is a kidnapper, but the children insist they helped them, so he and Clara are asked by the Major and Captain to explain everything. Clara and the Nutcracker tell the two they are searching for the Sugar Plum Princess, who will put an end to the Mouse King's reign. Major Mint, however, does not believe the story of the Sugar Plum Princess, but Captain Candy, who is good friends with the prince, does believe their story. They plan to cross the ocean to find her. While the Major is not enthusiastic, he and Captain Candy decide to go with Clara and the Nutcracker. Meanwhile, the Mouse King punishes two of his soldiers for not capturing the Nutcracker and looks in a book for information about the Sugar Plum Princess, but finds only a basic description, describing her as kind, clever, and brave. Frustrated but determined, he creates a rock giant out of a pillar to destroy the Nutcracker and sends Pim to go with the giant. The children stay with the villagers, and Clara tells Nutcracker she has figured out that he is Prince Eric, but he does not want to be the prince, as his subjects think less of him than the Mouse King. He just wants to make them happy. Clara, the Nutcracker, Major Mint, and Captain Candy start their search the next day. They encounter some stepping stones, and the Major crosses, but he knocks the Captain off. Nutcracker saves the Captain and helps Clara cross. Then they reach the Sea of Storms, and Clara and Nutcracker go find more supplies because Captain Candy lost his bag. Flower fairies help the pair find food and restore their home. The rock giant finds them and chases them. It destroys a boat the Major and Captain were building to cross the sea and soon comes towards them. Snow fairies come and turn the sea into ice, and the group goes with Marzipan across. Nutcracker cracks the ice, and the rock giant falls through, and they get away. Prim tells the king what happened to the rock giant and informs the king that the Major and Captain have joined. The Mouse King says the two are foolish for doing so. He has searched every book in the library and has found nothing on the Sugar Plum Princess. Still unwilling to let the Nutcracker succeed, the Mouse King makes another trap. Marzipan leads them to the Sugar Plum Princess's island. We see a fake building of the Sugar Plum Princess's palace. When Major Mint, Captain Candy, and Nutcracker go into the fake castle, there is an interior, but it is made of cardboard, as is the castle exterior. A cage drops on the men and captures them. Clara is alone and questions what to do, but finally decides to help them when the flower fairies bring a huge sling to carry her to the castle where the men are being held. Clara sneaks past the Mouse King, who's building a bonfire in the castle courtyard. Meanwhile, the flower fairies have found all the subjects hidden around everyone, agrees to stop the Mouse King. Pim was nearby and heard, so he informs the king of the villagers, which infuriates him, and demands that everyone who is coming be brought to the castle and taught a lesson. Clara comes to a dungeon and distracts its guards. The dungeon is empty. Clara realizes how unnatural it would be to post guards at an empty room, and using logical thinking, smashes the invisible barrier, hiding her friends. The group confronts the Mouse King, who turns all the peasants in the castle to stone, and with a growing spell, defeats the Nutcracker. Clara stands up to the Mouse King, calls him a coward, so he prepares to shrink her again, but the Nutcracker deflects his spell. The Mouse King is shrunk to the size of a real mouse and flees into the sewers. Clara kisses the Nutcracker and he transforms back into Prince Eric. Clara transforms into the Sugar Plum Princess, and the palace transforms. The citizens are free, and the bonfire is replaced by a beautiful fountain. The Mouse King's reign is officially over. The people of Parthenia all celebrate and dance, and Eric asks Clara if she'll stay and be his queen. She decides she will, but Pim and the Mouse King fly by and snatch Clara's locket off her neck. The Mouse King opens it, and she unwillingly returns home just before Eric can declare his love for her. Fortunately, the Mouse King doesn't enjoy his victory for long, as Pim is afterward knocked out by a snowball thrown by the Peppermint Girl, causing both villains to crash to the ground to their fall out. Clara wakes up to find herself on the sofa with no Nutcracker. No one believes what she says about the Nutcracker being a king, but her aunt comes in with a friend, Eric. He gives Clara her locket, and they dance. Grandfather Drosselmeyer reluctantly allows Eric to join them,